Welcome in, baseball fans. So just came from an Al Red Sox fan broadcast using APA Cards and Dice. 2024 Red Sox versus the 1966 Los Angeles Dodgers. So fun game. Definitely check that out. Al just finished. So hopefully you'll catch us afterwards. Our Red Sox fans, so always doing some fun things. So yeah. Enjoy. So we return to the Decades League here tonight, back to Action PC Baseball again. This is proving to be a lot of fun. And I thought what we would do here first is we would just look at a few of the highlights that have been going on in this league because we haven't really talked too much about those yet. So one that really, really sticks out for me, Jim Bunning, a game on April 10th in our league. 9 innings, gave up just 1 earned run, and struck out 14, walked just 1. Let's take a look at that quick box score right here. And essentially, let's just go to here. So this was just the 1960s all over the place. So Jim Fregosi in that game went 1 for 2 with 2 walks. The judge, Frank Robinson, 1 for 4 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. So responsible for all 3 of the runs for the 1960s decade. Vada Pinson went 2 for 4 with a double and a steal. But look at Bunning's line down here. So zero in on pitching. So 6 hits, right? Gave up 1 earned run, walked 1, and struck out 14. So an amazing performance by Jim Bunning. And at that time, gave the 1960s a 6-3 record. So the 1960s, they've dropped a little bit, but they're still playing some tough baseball and a tough team. These are all tough teams you can imagine. But the in the 1960s, right now they're at 6-4 in their division, 2.5 back of the 1980s. Of course, Honus Wagner, 3 hits, 2 of them home runs in a game on April 10th. So was beating the 1920s. And that was a good battle right there. 9-7 in that one. There you see it. Honus Wagner goes 3 for 4 in that game with 2 home runs, 2 runs batted in. Buck Freeman with 2 for 5 with a home run and a double. Johnny Kling 2 for 4, 3 runs batted in. For the 1920s, Kai Kyler goes 1 for 3 with a home run, 3 runs batted in. George Sisler 2 for 5, a double and a stolen base. And Steve O'Neill goes 1 for 2 with a double and 2 walks. So a lot of fun stuff going on in this league that we don't really get a chance to look at too much, but I thought it'd be really nice to see. Dwight Evans in a game on April 10th. Let's look at Dwight Evans here. So old Dewey here. Let's look at complete. So anyhow, Evans, this was the 1950s versus the 1980s. 1980s win this one 5-3. Dwight Evans goes 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, 4 runs batted in. Tim Raines 2 for 4 with a steal. Ryan Sandberg 2 for 4 with a double. For the 1950s, Ernie Banks goes 3 for 4 with a home run, 2 runs batted in. So it's really, really fun to kind of look at these game highlights and stuff like that. Mike Schmidt with 4 home runs or 4 hits in a game. I'm sorry. Joe McGinnity there, just all kinds of great stuff. So as this continues, we will keep going with that. Here's your leaders right now. Again, we are just about to go into game number 11. So not really time for the stats to settle down. So, but we'll look more closely at those as we go along. And let's go to April 12th here. So we got some good matchups here. I'm just going to, I guess, pick one at random. So we had Billy Pierce versus Curt Schilling, the 1950s versus the 1990s. The 1950s coming into this game at 4-6. In the 1990s at 5-5. So 2 teams in the middle of the pack, but a pretty good matchup there, I would say. Another one that looks a lot of fun here, and both teams have winning records. The 1980s versus the 1960s, Frank Tanana versus Juan Marichal. So that certainly looks killer. And then the 1900s versus the 1930s, Vic Willis versus Carl Hubbell. So we got a couple more Hall of Famers locking up there. In the 1910s versus the 1940s, Eddie Seacott versus Al Brazel. So I'm just gonna pick a game, and we're gonna play some baseball. It'll be fun. Baseball is always fun, even if Rob Manfred is in charge. It's still fun. All right, so I think I'm chomping on some gum here. Let's do Tanana versus Marshall. I think that'll be a good one, and we'll put human managing on the 1960s. Yep. I changed it. We've left League Park now, and we're going to be playing in Comiskey. All right. It is, of course, the new Comiskey Park, whatever it's called, Guaranteed Rate Field or whatever. I don't even know if this is set up yet. We'll find out. All right. And so we only have like one hitter that's going to be out for this game. So Al Kaline is inactive, but yeah, I think that's a hell of a good lineup right there. Let's go to it. And I have to set up the ballpark. Doesn't take long. Give people time to get in, get their popcorn, their beer, hot dogs, whatever. And never fear, Dead Ball will be returning to the channel. Just nice to mix things up a little bit. All right, so we're here, and I guess what would be new Comiskey Park. Again, I don't know what it's called now. This is the 1980s and 1960s locking up the 1980s squad. 5-game winning streak for them. So Frank Tanana will take the hill for them. 2 starts in the year, and he's 2-0. His ERA is 3. Juan Marichal counters for the 1960s. 2 starts in the year. He's 1-1. His ERA at 2. So 61 degrees here in Chicago in the south side at game time. Wind speed 5 miles per hour, left to right. And we have to set up the ballpark really quickly. But that's okay. Why not? Why not, right? Let's do this. And we have some fun. All right, let's go up here. Ordered a new PC today. I'm pretty psyched about that. So should be fun. Can't wait to get it. I love this one, but I want to take this one back to just music. Strictly music. Yes, reset everything. Boom. There we go. Set it up. I've got to say, it's the game that does this the best for setting up ballparks. Well, out of the park, automatically you're set up. But really, it's Digital Diamond Baseball. It takes like no time at all to set up in Digital Diamond Baseball. Click on the position clicker we want in the field. There's none of this dragging around stuff. So, but that's okay. I kind of like this. It's relaxing. Get to look around the ballpark a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. We're getting a little bit of a warmer spell here, I guess you might say, in Pennsylvania and in the mid-Atlantic states. And I'm hoping the same for our friends up in New England and all that kind of stuff. Getting closer to February 9th, and I ain't talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about just a crazy day of all kinds of baseball. We got tons of baseball fans, and I'm even finally in this tonight's broadcast met another just baseball only fan. I thought I was the only one on the planet who would say, I am not a sports fan, I'm a baseball fan. So we do have another one. So that is good. Yeah, it's weird. I'd like to know. I should research this. Because way back in the olden times, the home dugout would be on the third base side, but this game does on deck at first base or home at first base line and road at third. I don't know. Just kind of those little funny things that you kind of want to look at and whatever. All right, let's set up. I think this will be a fun game. And for me, it'll be fun, too, to get even more kind of cognizant, conversant, actually, is the better word, for 1960s. Baseball. Yeah. Good decade. I think the 70s were better. But learning more about the 60s, and I'm kind of liking it, thanks to Clinton Parks. So he and I are even. I turned him on to Dead Ball, and he's getting me into 1960s baseball. So it's one of the beauties of this community. All right, let me see. I think everything is set up pretty well. And let's say, there we go. Everybody bouncing to where they should be. So we use League Park. This is, again, we're just using this as a neutral park. But here we go. All right. Looking at the starting defense now for the 1960s squad. In left, Billy Williams. In center, Vada Pinson. In right, Frank Robinson. At first base, Orlando Cepeda. At second, Bill Mazeroski. At short, Jim Fregosi. At third, Ron Santo. Catching, Bill Freehand. And on the mound, Juan Marichal. All right, here we go. Leading off for the 1980s is Tim Raines. The 1980s at 8-2, best record in the league in baseball right now, and the 1960s at 6-4. So, two strong pitchers, two teams with winning records. Let's do it. Marichal ready to deal home. So, welcome to South Side of Chicago and some baseball. In the Decades League, Samuel Smith joining us here. Little bunt by Raines. This one's going to be tapped foul. First base side says Super Bowl hype is annoying and tired. How about it? Especially if they're playing in an indoor stadium in a warm city. Bring on spring training. Buddy, we are, 2 weeks or so away? So, yeah, bring on spring training. Absolutely. So Tim Raines is riding a 6-game hitting streak. Count no balls, 2 strikes. Marichal deals. And this one tapped back to Marichal. Close play at first. And they get Tim Raines by a hair. All right, here's Ryne Sandberg. Sandberg hitting .300 with a home run and 4 runs batted in. Freehand sets the target. Marichal brings it home. 0-2 pitch. Sandberg, hard hit ground ball to short. Fregosi fires on to Cepeda. 2 up, 2 down. All right, here's Boggs tracing the Hebrew letter in the batter's box. Boggs hitting .289 on the season, 4 runs batted in for him. Marichal twists and deals. 2-1 pitch. Ron Santo coming in on that ball, staying with it, and they get Wade Boggs. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the first. The 1980s nothing, and 1960s coming to bat. Looking at the 1980s defense, in left field we have Tim Raines. In center, Dale Murphy. In right field, Dwight Evans. At first base, Keith Hernandez. At second, Ryne Sandberg. At short, Cal Ripken Jr. At third, Wade Boggs. And catching, Gary Carter. So we got to get Keith Hernandez in the Hall of Fame. That's what we got to do. All right, leading things off here is Vada Pinson. Pinson hitting .231 on the season with a run batted in. Frank Tanana gets the start here, and he's ready to rock. 1-1 pitch. Pinson bouncer back to the mound. Tanana fields it from the left side of the box and fires on to Keith Hernandez for the 1-3 putout. So 1 away here now. Brings up the shortstop, Jim Fregosi. Has 2 home runs in the season with 3 RBI, hitting at a .257 clip. Gary Carter with the signs. Tanana, the lefty, delivers. 2-0 pitch. Hard hit ground ball down there. Plenty of time for Boggs to fire on to first to retire Jim Fregosi for out number 2. Will we be in for a pitcher's duel? I hope so. I like pitcher's duels. All right. The baby bull up now. Cepeda off to a good start. Again, we're just in game 11 of this entire project. 382 average with 3 runs batted in for Cepeda. Tanana studies the signs from Gary Carter. Toes the rubber and deals. 1-1 pitch. Cepeda swings and line drive, base hit, left field. Raines and Murphy converge, and Raines getting to the ball quickly. So Cepeda aboard, has a stolen base in the season thus far. And here's the great Billy Williams. Williams off to a not so good start, hitting just .139 with 2 runs batted in. Cepeda lead off first, 2 down here in the bottom of the first. No score here. I'm just going to call it Comiskey Park. I don't care what it's actually called. We're going to call it New Comiskey. I think that's what it was called or something. 1-1 pitch. Williams swings and drills to center and coming all the way into the score. Orlando Cepeda, Billy Williams with an RBI double. And look out, baseball fans. 1960s draw first blood. So Billy Williams over there at second, and here comes the judge. And Frank Robinson hitting .310, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in for him. All right, Tanana deals with 2 down and behind a run. Here's the pitch. Swung on, high fly ball to center, short of the track. Dale Murphy ranges to his left and makes the catch. 1 run, 2 hits, no errors. We've played 1. The 1960s lead 1-0. The 1980s will send up Dwight Evans, Keith Hernandez, and Cal Ripken Jr. Dewey Evans having a a torrid start to the season. 364 average, 4 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Juan Marichal ready to go. The 1-2 pitch. Oh, nice work there. Evans not able to catch up to that. Big swing and a miss. Marichal dropping the hammer there. Here's Keith Hernandez. Hernandez hitting a healthy 292. He has 4 runs batted in. Marichal toes the rubber. 1-0 pitch. Fly ball, left field, no trouble. Billy Williams, can of corn. 2 up, 2 down for Cal Ripken Jr. Ripken hitting just 156. Anything else we can say good about Cal? 2 doubles. Marichal brings it. Ripken first pitch swinging, ground ball, base hit, right field. Robinson fields it, fires it into Mazeroski. So Ripken aboard. Just 2 steals coming into the season, no steals in the season. And here's Dale Murphy, one of the good guys in baseball, hitting 294. He has 2 round trippers, and he has batted in 9. Marichal brings it home. 0-1 pitch, fly ball, center field, and Vada Pinson makes a diving catch. That retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. And 1.5 in the books here in Chicago. And it's 1-0, 1960s. Ron Santo, Bill Freehan, and Bill Mazeroski duo. All right, so the former Cubs third baseman hitting 333 thus far. Tanana deals 1-2 pitch. Santo swung on. Sandberg plays it on the hop and fires onto Tanana covering. Score that one 4-1 and 1 away. It's Bill Freehan now, former Detroit catcher, 281 average, a home run, and 5 runs batted in. Lefty deals, 1-1 pitch. Freehan base hit up the middle over Sandberg's head into center field. Dylan Murphy up with it. Freehan aboard. And that brings up Bill Mazeroski, former Bucko second baseman, a 212 average, 5 runs batted in. Truth Hurts Wilkie joining us. It says Vada Pinson was an underrated player who never struck out over 100 times in the season. I saw him play several times at Crosley Field in the mid to late 60s. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Full stop, definitely. I know his family's really pushing for it. I do hope that Pinson will make it. All right. Tanana checks Freehan. No speed there at first, so Hernandez a little bit off the bag. Despite the H there, Hernandez isn't going to be holding Freehan. He's not going anywhere. 0-2 pitch. Mazeroski drips this into right field. Runners on first and second for the 1960s, and it brings up Juan Marichal. Infield looking bunt here. Tanana deals. And nice bunt. Marichal sacrifice successful. 2 in scoring position with 2 down here in the bottom of the second, with Bill Freehan at third and Bill Mazeroski trailing in second. We're back at the top of the order now. The man we've been talking about, Vada Pinson. Grounded back to the pitcher back in the first. Tanana winds and fires. And 1-0 pitch. And this one is extra bases going down in the corner. Freehan will score. Mazeroski will score. And Vada Pinson with a 2 RBI double in the 1960s squad now lead 3-0. Third double for Vada Pinson in the season. Brings up Jim Fregosi. He's 0 for 1, grounded to third back in the first. Tanana brings it. Pinson at second. Ground ball, routine ground ball to Boggs. Hard peg across the diamond. And that will do it for the 1960s. But they tally 2 more on 3 hits, no errors. And we've played 2 here in Chicago. 3-0 in favor of the 1960s. And Juan Marichal will face the 8, 9, and 1 hitters, Gary Carter, Frank Tanana, and Tim Raines. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Quiet chat tonight, but a goodly number of people here. All good. All right, here he is. He of eternal memory, Gary Carter, 333 average, 4 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Marichal kicks and fires. Carter, first pitch swinging, high pop up in the infield. Fregosi ranging out on the grass and makes the catch. So one away now for Frank Tanana. Tanana's making his, Tanana, I should say, is 0 for 6 on the season. Tanana, not of course, being an American League pitcher. There you go. All right, Tanana swings, fly ball, high fly ball, shallow right. Robinson ranges in and to his right, makes the catch. 2 away, back at the top of the order. Tim Raines, again, riding that 6-game hitting streak, bunted out last time. 1-1 pitch, swung on, routine grounder to short, Fregosi to Cepeda, and they get the fleet-footed Tim Raines. Side retired, no runs, no hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the third. The 1960s lead the 1980s 3-0. The Baby Bull, Billy Williams and Frank Robinson do up, the 3-4-5 hitters. Cepeda singled back in the first. Tanana rubs up the ball, leans in, twirls the ball behind his back, has the sign from Gary Carter. Here's the windup and the 1-2 pitch to Cepeda. Cepeda swings in the fastball, and Murphy, going back 10 feet short of the track, makes the catch. 1 down. Big lot out there for the Baby Bull. Billy Williams is 1 for 1. Had that RBI double that scored Orlando Cepeda that gave the 1960s its first run back in the first. 1 in the first, 2 in the second so far for the 1960s squad. Tanana deals 1-1 pitch to Billy Williams. Williams cranks this to center field, but Dale Murphy out there, a veritable Hoover, ranging on his horse to the right, making the catch for 2 down. Now here's the judge, nothing for 1. Frank Robinson almost cranks it out of here last time up. Count even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. This one's high, deep, and Evans has it at the track. Out number 3. So we've played 3, and it's 3-0. All right, so Juan Marichal right now pitching a 1-hitter as we enter the middle innings of the game. Ryan Sandberg leads things off. Sandberg will be followed by Wade Boggs and Dwight Evans. Sandberg grounded to short back in the first. Freehand sets the target. Juan Marichal brings it home. 2-1 pitch. Fly ball, easy fly ball out to right. Robinson trotting in a few steps, and he will glove it for out number 1. Pete York joining us. He says, preferred spring training destination, grapefruit or cactus? I've never been to any spring training, Pete. So on the bucket list, again, living a lot of years in Europe and back here and back in Europe and what have you. I suppose my choice, I don't know. I think probably, I want to see both. I think ultimately I have to say Grapefruit League just because that's where my Pirates are home based, but a nice dry air out there for Grapefruit League would be tempting too, right? Because Florida is humid all the time. So what about you, Pete? And welcome in, man. One more time, you get a wrench. All right. It's going to be Boggs, Evans, and Hernandez. Wade Boggs grounded to third back in the first. All right. Marichal brings it home. 2-0 pitch. And this one, routine grounder. Mazeroski had all day. He could have put out a chaise lounge and waited for that ball. All right. 1 or 2 away now. Dwight Evans, who struck out against Marichal. He's the only strikeout victim of Marichal. Juan deals 0-2 pitch. And Evans, line drive, base hit, left field. Pete says, Dad lived in Fort Myers for a long time, so love some grapefruit. There you go. Mike, Sports Time Machine, where the hell have you been, man? Great to see you. It is great to see Mike. So, guys, take a moment, subscribe to Sports Time Machine. He always does some super, super cool projects. And if you're a Strat player, especially Strat Baseball, Strat, whether Cards and Dice or Strat PC, Mike is he not only knows the game inside and out and owns just billions and crazy seasons and stuff like that to be able to do the projects that he does. Always makes them fun. He's one of these guys that sounds like a good baseball broadcast. So check it out, Sports Time Machine, guys. Long-time content creator and certainly valued member of this YouTube sports gaming family that we have. All right, back to action here. Mike, let us know in the chat what you got coming up. If you feel like typing a little bit. I haven't been receiving notifications in your channel, so I'm not sure what's quite going on there, if you've taken a brief hiatus or what have you, but do let us know, please. All right. So Keith Hernandez, nothing for one. So fly down the left field line back in the second. 2 away. Dewey Evans on at first. Evans, no steals this season. Marichal deals behind 2-0. And this one, hard hit ground ball to right. Robinson up with it. Going to third on the play is Dewey Evans. So the 1980s threatening here in the top of the 4th inning. Down 3-0. 2 outs for Cal Ripken Jr. Ripken hitting just 182. So Ripken not getting things done. 6 for 33. Could he do it here? Ripken could tie the game with a swing of the bat right here. 1-0 pitch. And up the middle. And nice stop by Fregosi to Cepeda. And side retired. I'm sorry. Credit Mazeroski on that play. So Maz making a good play. Anyhow, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Bottom of the 4th, it's still 3-0. Frank Tanana will face the number 6, 7, 8 hitters. So Ron Santo, Bill Freehan, and Bill Mazeroski. Santo grounded to second back in the second. Carter sets the target for Tanana. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And Ron Santo, this one way up and in. Tanana trying to establish a little bit of the plate there. Santo doesn't budge and perambulates down to first. All right, brings up Bill Freehan now. He's 1 for 1. Singled straight up the middle back in the second. Santo, just 3 steals before this season started. 1-2 pitch. And hard hit ground ball. And this is going to be textbook 6-4-3 double play. 2 down now for Maz. Mazeroski singled back in the second. Tanana brings it home. 1-2 pitch. Mazeroski has just singled again. And that one, a little frozen rope up the middle. Murphy playing it on the short hop. And Maz is aboard. So Mazeroski not a threat to steal. But Maz picking up the 6th hit here for the 1960s squad. All right, here's Juan Marichal. And he's got to swing away. 0-2 pitch. Marichal swings. And this is going to be Sandberg to Ripken to get Mazeroski. And that is the 5th grade play of the season for Ryne Sandberg. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the top of the 5th here in the south side of Chicago. It's 3-0 1960s. All right, so cool. Pete, you're subscribing to Sports Time Machine. You're going to enjoy it, Pete. Really good stuff. He's been doing the 1979 World Series, Pirates and Orioles. I hope my Bucks are doing well. We came back in that World Series and won. Go Bucks. I like the Orioles, but the Pirates are my team. I live right now, though, closer to Baltimore, Washington, and Philadelphia. That's why I was hoping for some sort of combination. Well, yeah, the Nats were out of it, but I was really hoping for a Phillies-Baltimore series last year because I live close to both cities. Didn't happen, man. And couldn't get the time off work to go out to L.A., so what are you going to do? All right. Dale Murphy leads things off here. Murphy be followed by Gary Carter and then Frank Tanana. Juan Marichal so far, just 1 strikeout, but pitching a 3-hitter. All right. Freehand sets up. 0-2 pitch coming into Dale Murphy. Oh, Murphy looks at one on the inside corner. Murphy not given to arguing too much. Takes the bat, goes back to the dugouts, and grabs some bazooka bubble gum because none of the people in my league chew tobacco because I don't want their faces melting off. All right. Gary Carter popped a short back in the 3rd. 1 away here in the top of the 5th inning. 0-2 pitch. And this one hit to Cepeda. Cepeda had to rush his throw off to Marichal, able to get his foot on the bag. So 2 down quickly. And here's Frank Tanana, who's nothing for 1. And he doesn't even offer. This one cuts the middle of the plate. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 3-0, and it'd be Veda Pinson. We're back to the top of the order for the 1960s. Veda Pinson, Jim Fregosi and Orlando Cepeda. Pinson had a big double there back in the second. 2 RBI double that scored Bill Freehan and Bill Mazeroski. Tanana deals 0-2 pitch. Pinson swung on and line to left, base hit. Pinson going for 2, good speed. The tag not in time. Second double of the day for Pinson. His 4th double overall in the season. Brings up Fregosi. He's grounded to third twice. Nobody out here in 1960s threatening to add to this 3-0 lead. Tanana deals, and this one, good bunt. So Fregosi sacrificing, catching them off guard. Number 2 hitter. They're playing a little bit of dead ball baseball here. So moving along, here's the baby bull. He is 1 for 2. Cepeda last time flew out. Pinson 90 feet away, potential 4th run for the 1960s. Tanana deals. Cepeda swings, and no doubt about this one. Cepeda goes long and deep, baby. So 327-foot shot for him. That's going to read like a 550-shot Mickey Mantle bomb tomorrow in the Chicago Tribune. It is now 5-0. And speaking of Chicago, here's former Cub Billy Williams. Billy, with an RBI double back in the first, flew out in the third. Tanana getting touched up here. So far, the line for the 1960s, 5-8-0. For the 1980s, 0-3-0. Each team has stranded 3. All right, the southpaw Tanana deals 1-2 pitch to Billy Williams. Billy Williams looks at one in the outside corner. So 2 away now. And it brings up the judge, Frank Robinson, 0 for 2. He's flown out twice. Tanana brings the 1-0 pitch and 2 hopper to Boggs. Close play at first, and they will get Frank Robinson. However, 2 more runs for the 1960s squad on 2 hits, no errors. 5 complete here in the south side of Chicago. The 1960s leading the 1980s 5-0. Back at the top of the order now for the 1980s, Tim Raines, Ryan Sandberg, and Wade Boggs. Raines in the game has bunted out and grounded out. Marichal deals behind 3-0, and he loses Raines. This game could start to get interesting with Tim Raines, and his speed could be the catalyst. 6 steals thus far in the season, and before the season coming into it, 68 steals for Raines. Yeah, I think it is going to be time to wake up the pen. The 1980s being managed by the computer, but we can always override that if you guys would like. No problem with that. I mean, Tanana's getting rocked here. Just no dominance at all. Marichal, on the other hand, 3 strikeouts and a walk. So, yeah, let's continue. All right. So, Tim Raines, Bill Freehan, not the strongest arm back there. Wouldn't be surprised to see Raines running. Cepeda holding him on at first. Marichal with a check of the runner. And no throw over. Ground ball to short. Fregosi's going to take the shore play. Bang, bang play at first. They get Sandberg. So Raines moves to second on the unintentional sacrifice. And here's Wade Boggs now. He is 0 for 2. And he's grounded out twice in the infield. 0-2 pitch. And Boggs bouncer back to the mound. Marichal to Cepeda. That's a 1-3. Nowhere for Tim Raines to go. And it's up to Darrell Evans to try to get, or Dwight Evans to try to get at least a run in here for the 1980s. Singled his last time up. Marichal brings it, the 2-1 pitch. Oh, this one hard hit to center, and that's going to do it. How about it? So Evans gets him on the board as Tim Raines comes in to score. They're going to call that a poor play on Vada Pinson out there in center field. All right, 5-1 is your score now. And here's Keith Hernandez. Hernandez singled back in the fourth, 1 for 2. Runner on first, Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans, no steals yet this season. Don't expect to see too many. 0-2 pitch. Hernandez swings, and this one soft liner right to Ron Santo at third. Side retired, but a run for the 1980s guys. 1 hit, no errors. After 5.5, 1960s lead 5-1. We'll go ahead and switch our options up here if you guys want to. If you think it's time for Frank Tanana to come out, we certainly can do that. So let's set this to human control, and I will bring up what we have. So there we go, guys. So yeah, Pete's saying he thinks Tanana's seen enough. So again, I think this is one of the coolest features I've ever seen in a digital baseball game, is this pitcher batter analysis. And this will change according to count, game situation, everything. Really nice. So I'll let you guys go ahead and pick. Again, any pitcher with an S, that means he'd be pitching on short rest. So probably want to sway for McCaddy or Jerry Royce, but certainly a lot to choose from here. In the meantime, so we did a lot of pocket pennant run. I talked to Paul Fay. I am going to start doing more compartmentalized tutorial videos for pocket pennant run, as he's been doing as well. So at least till a manual is ready. So look for those coming up for those of you that are playing pocket pennant run baseball. First video is going to be focusing on team management, and that's the screen where you do all kinds of creative things. All right. Willie Hernandez, maybe squeeze a couple innings out of him. Sounds good, Pete. Let's do it. Let's bring on Willie Hernandez. All right, Tanana's day is done. So always, I know when I would play like the Tigers in baseball, since Willie Hernandez always did such a great job. So coming into the season, but before the season starts, a 7-7 record, 16 saves, 28 walks, 85 strikeouts. So he's going to finish his warm-up pitches. Ron Santo steps in, kicks a little bit of the infield dirt off his spikes, and we're ready to go. So he's 0 for 1, Ron Santo is, with a walk. All right, so Lefty Hernandez ready to work home. And here is the pitch. High pop fly, third base side. Boggs calling off Ripken. Out number 1. So could be a pretty good omen for the 19 squad. We're going to go ahead and set them back to computer. Bill Freehand, 1 for 2. 1-2 pitch. Freehand swings, dribbler to first. Keith Hernandez will race him to the bag and win by about 3 leagues. So quickly, 2 up, 2 down now for Bill Mazeroski. Bill Mazeroski a perfect 2 for 2 today at the plate. Willie works. Hernandez swing, or Mazeroski swings, score this one 6-3 put out to end the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning for the 1980 squad. We go to the top of the 7th, and Juan Marichal will face Cal Ripken Jr., Dale Murphy, and Gary Carter. He's doing well on the short rest. So so far, that was a nice, clean inning. Tanana, I think maybe he had one. Let's just check here really quickly. Did Tanana have any 1-2-3 innings? So, yep. So the third inning was a 1-2-3 inning. So that was it. It's been trouble for Frank Tanana's best inning. I mean, no, he gave up nothing in the 4th. So giving up that hit, that hurts a little bit. But his best inning was the 3rd after getting smacked around a little bit, or a lot, you might say. All right. So Cal Ripken Jr. is 1 for 2. He has a single. Marichal, 0 for 2. Marichal gives up hard hit, ground ball base hit. To right field. Frank Robinson quickly fielding that ball. Ripken aboard, and here is Dale Murphy. Marichal has got a lot of gas left in the tank, though. 0-2 pitch. Murphy swings, and this one popped out towards short for Fregosi, making the call and the catch. 1 away. Gary Carter now. He's popped out, grounded out. 1 pitch. Swung on, grounder to second. Maz to Fregosi, back to Cepeda. And there you go. How about it? That 4-6-3 double play. 7th inning stretch time. Your score is 5-1. So, of course, Pete, the obvious question is any relation to Rudy York? You seem to be I'm talking about Willie Hernandez. Yeah, the 84 Tigers squad. Hell of a team. Tigers are my favorite American League franchise. I really, really do like the Detroit Tigers. And apart from the usual suspects on the Tigers, one of my favorite players, one of my favorite all-time Tiger players is George Kell. Really, really a George Kell fan. I mean, I'm not old enough to have seen him play or anything, but really like George Kell. But, I mean, what a great, great franchise, the Detroit Tigers. It's absolutely phenomenal. Long baseball history in the Motor City, huh? Did, of course, historically the satisfaction of the Pirates beating the Tigers in the 1909 World Series and Wagner outclassing Cobb all the way. But just a great, great baseball team. And, I was so sentimentally, even though the Tigers are my favorite franchise in the American League, I just want to see, it'd be nice if the Cleveland Indians, who haven't won a World Series since 1948, but nobody, and I mean nobody in the American League Central saw the Tigers coming last year. And wow. So Tigers just one of those teams that, for me, even when the Tigers are not good, they still seem good. I don't know. They're not one of those. I can't ever think of the Tigers as a weak franchise. It's a great team. So he says he's not related to Rudy York. Well, you can be in here if you want. All right, here we go. Bottom of seventh, guys. Juan Marichal. Just giving up 1 run, scattered 5 hits in this game. So Marichal looking to work into some cruise control here. Willie Hernandez, looks like we're going to keep him on here. He's good for some pitches yet. Fastball average is around 90. His last 5 pitches at 89.5. So holding steady. Marichal, nothing for 1. And he also has a sacrifice. Hernandez, the lefty deals, count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Marichal just looks at that curveball, kind of lunges at it weakly, comes up with nada. Willie Hernandez picks up his first strikeout. Back at the top of the order now, Vada Pinson having a good day. He is 2 for 3 baseball fans, including a 2 RBI double. 1-2 pitch. The lefty Pinson swings. Dribbler out to Hernandez. Hernandez underhands it to Willie Hernandez. So Hernandez to Hernandez for out number 2. Jim Fregosi, nothing for 2. And a sacrifice. Bottom of 7th here in the south side of Chicago. A 1 pitch. Fregosi, ground ball past Hernandez, and Fregosi's going to get a double out of this. At least Evans, the throw to third. Boggs with the tag, not in time. Jim Fregosi picks up a 2-out triple. All right, Hernandez now wants to get out of this. They don't want to waste a pitcher because Hernandez is the leadoff hitter when we go to the top of the 8th. So Willie needs to get this 3rd out right here. Cepeda is going to be tough, though. He is 2 for 3 in his last time up. A 2-run homer that gave the 1960s at that time a 5-0 lead. Aaron Reed joining us. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Welcome to some Tuesday night baseball. Just one game tonight. Just one game. It is, after all, 12:22 a.m. on the East Coast. Hernandez out of the stretch in the 1-2 pitch. Cepeda swings. Oh, my God. Well, you didn't want to waste somebody, but we might have to. Cepeda, 403-foot shot. This game, we could vote in the chat. Mercy roll, cut it short here at 7-1. Or do we want to give the 1986 more outs since they are leading the league with an 8-2 record? I don't know, man. I think the damage has been done. I mean, I kind of feel guilty, but when you got 2 outs and your pitcher leading off, and this is not a DH league, you want him to get that 3rd out. But damn. So, computers managing, saw no reason to pull Hernandez. We're managing the 1960s, but we haven't had to do anything. They're just doing all the shelling right now. All right. Live to fight another day. That says let's finish it out. All right. That works for me. Oh, man, I keep forgetting to shut that. I love this, but looking at the whole box score, I'm not exactly. Okay, anyhow, let's go ahead. We'll just get out of here a little bit earlier. All right, let's go Zoom and let's go to the end of the game. There we go, Pete. Good instincts there. 7-3 your final. So the 1960s improved to 7-4. The 1980s fall to 8-3. For the 1980s, the only highlight really is Dwight Evans, who went 3 for 4 in the game. For the 1960s, however, Jim Fregosi 1 for 3 with a triple. Vada Pinson 2 for 4, 2 runs batted in. Orlando Cepeda, who should be your player of the game, goes 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, 4 RBI. Even if the game doesn't award it, Orlando Cepeda is player of the game. Juan Marichal improves to 2-1. Frank Tanana falls to 2-1. So let me see. We had 2 home runs in this game, both by the Baby Bull. We had a triple finally. So thank you, Jim Fregosi, for that. 2 and 5 doubles in this game. All right, let's have a look at pitching here really quickly. Tanana tagged with a loss, 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs all earned. Gave up a home run, a walk, and only 1 strikeout. So Tanana feeling a little bit of the rock and roll here. Willie Hernandez worked 2 in relief, 2 earned runs, gave up a home run, struck out 1. Oral Hershiser, who we didn't, again, we fast played this, and that's fine. Hershiser pitched just an inning. Juan Marichal goes the distance, gave up 3 earned runs, walked 2, struck out 5. Your player of the game is Orlando Cepeda, but let's see what the game says. And it is indeed Orlando Cepeda. It's nice to get that right. All right. And now we'll just auto out a couple games and we'll close it down here. So we're just letting standings. So now the 1940s breathing down the necks here of the 1980s. So things close here at the top, actually. Just 1.5 games separates the 4th place team from the 1st place team. So nobody out of it yet. I don't see the 19th century sticking in there, though, all the way. The 1940s, what a great surprise they've been. So let's look at a couple games that we can just auto play out, because we do have a couple good ones. Yeah, a couple good games I'd like to do live on another night. All right, so I like the Billy Pierce, Curt Schilling, so I think we're going to leave that. We'll go ahead, since I don't see Ken Castro here, we're going to go ahead and do the 1920s versus the 19th century. This is going to be Red Faber against Pud Galvin. And the 19th century win another one. They win this one 6-4. Galvin with the win. Cooper gets the loss. Max Carey scoops, goes 2 for 4 with a home run. His second of the season and a stolen base. Damn it. All right. Way to go, Max Carey. In a losing cause, but still. So those teams now identical records at 4-7. Carlton Hudson, just not feeling it. We'll just auto that one. We'll see them again. 1970s edged the 2000s 3-2. This was an 11 inning affair. Rollie Fingers gets the win. Folk takes the loss. And Alfonso Soriano goes 3 for 5 and a stolen base. 1910s versus 1940s. This is Eddie Cicotte and Al Brazel. Auto play this one. 1910s all over them, 5-1. Walter Johnson gets the win. Brazel takes the loss. So Walter Johnson pitching. Looks like we have another injury there. Sherry McGee goes 3 for 5 with a home run. 5 runs batted in. Should have played that game. All right. And we're going to leave Vic Willis and Carl Hobble. One of the reasons is we don't see Carl Hobble a lot on the channel, or Vic Willis for that matter. 2 Hall of Famers locking up there. And I think Peterson Schilling is going to be a nice matchup. So there we go. Having fun with the Decades League here. And just quickly looking at some leaders here, just a quick snapshot. after this does its thing. All right. So just try. I'm not going to look at percentage stats so much. Let's just look at quantitative stats right now. So Mike Schmidt and Ernie Banks tied for 5 home runs. And again, we're in game 12 now. We're in the 12th game of the season here. Let me see. RBI, Mike Schmidt and Ernie Banks. He's with 14. Tim Raines with 6 steals. Let me see. We're not going to worry about ERA too early. Bob Feller with 3 wins. Dan Quisenberry with 3 saves. Walter Johnson leading with 28 strikeouts, but Drysdale and Budding behind him at 27 each. And Bob Feller with a 3-game winning streak. As far as how the teams are doing at the 1960s, leading, I will do percentages here. So far, batting as a team, 258. Pitching the 1960s with a 2.43 earned run average. And the 1940s and the 19th century, surprisingly, the 19th century, leading in fielding. Your all-stars right now, the 9 all-stars: Bob Feller, Gary Carter, Orlando Cepeda, Joe Morgan, Mike Schmidt, Ernie Banks, Pete Rose, Joe DiMaggio, and Dwight Evans. So for the Mickey Mantle fans out there, Dwayne Martz, I've activated Mickey. This other Mickey just stays. It's the same one. It was just a kind of weird things. Eddie Matthews out, injured. So we do have some injuries in the game. Love the baseball card feature, by the way. This is super cool. Super, super cool. Anyhow, that's it, guys. Just wanted to do a quick game. Yeah, mega. Exactly. Make all Yankees great again. All right. Well, guys, thanks a lot. Shockingly, we're going to get out of here in under an hour. It's a lot of fun. Pete York, thank you. Next time you come in, you get a moderator's wrench. Aaron Reed, thanks, buddy, for coming in. Appreciate you. Sports Time Machine's been way too long since I've seen you, so looking forward to catching up that 1979 World Series. Truth Hurts Wokey was in here, another person who thinks Vada Pinson was definitely an underrated player. Samuel Smith, my good friend, inside the ballpark, and he said, and this is comment worthy on the screen, good evening. Super Bowl hype is annoying and tired, especially if they're playing in an indoor stadium in a warm city. Bring on spring training. It's coming, guys. We're going to hear those magic words: pitchers and catchers report. And I, for one, will be in heaven. That's what I'm waiting for. Guys, thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. And until then, see you around the batting cage. And good night.